Hello. Um, my subscribers have been asking me to do a video about the last time I met with Frank and the Anglin brothers in Mexico City. And that was around 1996 or 98, as closely as I can figure. Um, he talked to me about his book, Ha Ha. I've done videos on that. And the thing that kind of rung a bell to me on that book was that he said that it was difficult for him to come up with the names of the girls that he put in the book. And then I was like, why is that difficult? And he asked me, how many girls' names do you know? And I was like, well, I don't know. A lot of girls in school that I knew, classmates and everything, and this and that. And he was like, but well, I think what he was trying to say was, he kind of missed out on all of that because he mostly was in prison with guys. And when he got out, he would be doing crimes. And if he did meet a girl, he would kill her. Probably didn't bother to ask them their names, and he sure didn't memorize them. Whenever I read books, if there's names of girls in the books, they usually kind of, what do you call, a little bit elegant. People write a book, they try to be elegant. But in his case, they were simple names, normal names, like probably out of his childhood, which was in the 20s, 30s in there. And I remember, Debbie, Connie, and that kind of thing. And not that those are bad names, I mean, a lot of good names out there, but he didn't come up with any really cute ones, or really sweet names like Brianna or Stormy or anything like that. But he would, he talked to, so when I read that book, that's what I wanted to tell you, was that was the first thing that I noticed. I remembered him telling me about how many girls' names because I'm reading all these different names. It didn't seem like the person who wrote the book was very educated. And this is rather interesting because, the guy had a very high IQ in the top 2% of the population, and he writes a book that sounds like it was written by a child. He had the mind of a child because of not having any of the worldly experiences that most of us have when we grow up and go to school and go to college or whatever. He just went straight to stealing and killing, and that's the only thing he knew. Anyway, that was what he talked about in his book. But then after that, he started going down the list of all of the friends of mine, and kind of beating around the bush about it. And what, you remember this guy, the one that did this and that? And yeah, that was so and so. And he goes, yeah. Have you seen him lately? No, I haven't. And he would do another one and another one, and ask me, you seen her? You seen her? You seen her? No. Somewhere in there, he turned around backwards and said, and you won't. And I heard part of it and shut out the rest of it. And you know, uh, he was going down the list of all of the friends of mine that he had killed because he couldn't catch me. He even told me a couple of different times that, we can't get somebody, we get their friends. And I go, what do you mean get them? You can see me anytime you want. You don't have to worry about how to get a hold of me. And he just shake his head because I don't know. But anyway, we talked about that list. He went down that list. He talked about his book. I can't remember what else he said, but I do remember that I was staying at the Sheraton, and he asked me, where are you staying? Because of course he wanted to follow me over there and try and capture me. And I told him the Sheraton. He goes, well, they got security over there. He knew every hotel because he, captured and killed people in the parking lots of every hotel. So he left me alone on that particular trip. But I say he left me alone. He didn't, because I recall John Anglin standing out there in the hallway watching me. And I had met a girl in the Zona Rosa, which is a nice area of Mexico City, who was working, I don't know, passing out flyers or something. And we talked about English and Spanish. She wanted to practice a little bit, and I told her, you can come up over to the hotel with me, and we can sit in the lobby and do that. And she goes, yeah, I'll come over with you, but we can go up to your room if you want. And I'm like, okay. I didn't expect anything to happen, and it didn't. But we talked a little while and shared our Spanish and English educations and that kind of thing. And I told her I would take her back over there. And I can't remember if I walked her back or not, but I remember stepping out into the hallway, and there was, probably all three of these guys. And I remember security coming out there and escorting them outside and telling them to get out of the hotel. Jeez, I hope I walked that girl back over there, because if I didn't, who knows what happened to her. Anyway, that was our last meeting. But the other thing that happened, which was about 4 years ago, and I've told you guys about this before, I saw the Anglin brothers sitting out in front of their house. I tracked them down, and there they were. I was like, I can't believe it. Clarence looks just like the FBI drawing that says that's what he's going to look like, right, what he should look like right now. John, he doesn't look so much like that. He looks more like he always did. He didn't age very much. But anyway, Clarence, I'd got some word, I think, from, well, I talked, texting to one of their sisters, I think, who I got in contact with her through one of the daughters of, I don't know, Widner's or somebody that was dating a guy, and the guy had messaged me and told me these guys are here, and I was trying to get that over to the FBI, and I kept it for a long time in the phone, and I lost the phone. They told me that these guys, that Clarence Anglin was almost deaf and nearly blind, and that John was he couldn't walk too good. Well, that makes sense, because he hurt his ankle when he jumped over the fence there at Alcatraz, and he was trying to get me to get my dad to go down there and see if he could fix his ankle. And they I don't know. Maybe I need to tell you this. No, I told you this story where I ran over him one time. They were trying to stop me driving down this road in Mexico City, and I just stepped on the gas and ducked down where they couldn't see me, and I hit him, ran over his leg, and I think it was the same leg that Harry had the problem with, so he doesn't walk too good right now. Well, when I drove past their place where they were sitting out there in lawn chairs, I just decided I was going to turn around and go back and say, hey, how's it going, guys, or whatever. And I turned around and it started raining. It does that in Florida, and it'll rain really hard. When I got back, I hadn't gone very far, maybe a block, and I come back, they're going into the house, and I wasn't about to go knock on the door, but I could see that John was helping Clarence up the stairs because he couldn't see, and I could see him talking in Clarence's ear. So I know the information I got about that him being deaf and blind was true, and also John was limping as he was getting him into the house, getting Clarence into the house. Now, I came back at a later date attempting to find these guys again, and they weren't there. And there was a guy walking down the street in front of their house, and I was like, this guy lives here. It was a park. Maybe he knows these guys. And I asked him, those guys that live there? And he goes, well, they don't live there. They just come there off and on. And he goes, "You're talking about John and Clarence?" And I was like, "Couldn't believe it." I was filming this. I had this filmed and I had it in a camera, but I lost the camera and I lost the video the. I know that's the story of my life with these guys, but all I can say is, Frank seems to win every time. That's why he never got caught, because he always won. But anyway, they where was I at on that story? I already lost it. they oh, I went back and I got a video of a guy telling me that John and Clarence come around there off and on. And I'm like, you know John and Clarence, huh? And he goes, yeah, I know them. I talk to them every once in a while. And said they're still pretty nice guys. And he went, I think he was a little bit scared of them. And I didn't want to post the video because I was afraid that their family would see it, and one of their great nephews, who had threatened me a few times, might go and try and kill this poor guy walking around the streets there. But he knew them and he knew their names, so I know that was them, and that was back in Florida. That's about all I can tell you of the last meetings with these guys. You guys want to give me some more ideas about what you would like me to do videos on about concerning these guys, or even anything else? If you got some wild ideas, I'll entertain anything, any ideas, and maybe consider doing it, especially if multiple people ask for it. Thank you very much, and good night.